everyone, this is Robert with Northwest Oregon Fishing Channel. Today we're going to talk about my basic setup on my trolling poles for salmon. I basically have a clip setup, so everything I do can be clipped on and off in pieces. And my rule of thumb is that every end of every setup either has to have a snap swivel or a hook. For example, I make my own snap swivels, and I just buy a package of jewel snaps and a package of swivels and put them together. It's the most cost-effective way to do it, and I get the right size that I want for my swivels and my hooks together. Sometimes to get the right size hook or snap, you have to have a larger swivel than what I'd really like to have. These swivels are strong enough for any salmon, and the hook, the snap here, is great. So we'll start with the beginning. So on the diagram, we start with the fishing pole. On my fishing pole, we have a main line of a 60-pound braided line. Now, this one is a white color. We revolve colors, so every other one has a different color. So I have 5 poles normally on my boat, and 2 of them are in white, 2 of them are in yellow, and 1 of them is in green. The reason I do that is so that way if I'm fishing 2 poles next to each other and they get the line crossed, we can see what's crossing what, so it's easier to get it straightened out, and hopefully we save a big mess. So on the start of this, the first thing we start with is the weight line. So basically we put these beads on here, and then a swivel, and then the swivel is in between them. The beads basically protect that swivel on the top end from any grass that might run into it, and on the bottom end it protects the knot that's hooked to the snap swivel from the weight swivel. On this weight line, you can see here that it's a regular line with a snap swivel on the end, and then that way we can just snap whatever weight we want on there in a hurry. The one thing is that this weight line is the same strength as my line on the rest of my rigging. So I tie a knot right here in it to make it weak, so that way if it gets caught on something, it'll break here instead of losing your expensive gear like your flasher, which can cost you around $16. And that'll really ruin your day if you lose a couple of flashers and you don't have fish to show for it. So anyway, next we're going to move on to the next section. This is a bumper section for the flasher. And if you're not using a flasher, this section is really not necessary. But this section is 18 inches long, and it needs to be longer than whatever your weight line is, and I recommend by a good 6 inches. That way, if your weight comes up, it doesn't hit into the flasher or the swivel and keeps you from tangling up. Now, it's always possible, but likely is that it'll just drop right back down to the ground and you won't get caught into it. Notice here that you have a swivel on the top end and a snap on the bottom end. If we wanted to take this little piece out, we could do it, and we could just snap right to there and we would be done. But we need that piece to keep us protected from the swivel. So here we have a standard flasher, and if you see here, I've added a snap swivel or snap onto the end of the flasher. The flasher comes snapped with swivels on each end, but we want that snap on the end so that way it can come and go with ease. We don't have to play with it, it just snaps out. Then we have another swivel right here. This swivel just attaches to another bumper line just like that with another snap swivel on the end. So far we've got 2 pieces, not including the flasher, with just a swivel and a snap. This one is a little under 36 inches. I like to go right about there, maybe 30 inches to 36. Then from there we go to our end, which is going to be next is going to be a bead chain instead of a regular swivel. We almost always use the bead chain because we want our lure to be able to move freely, and if it's a mooching rig, it's almost required no matter what to get the action you want out of it. On the end of this one today, for our example, we just have a flasher tied onto here. This is a really good flasher, especially up in front of the Sandy River where we really do really well with these little kind of units. But out in Astoria, it's, we do a lot more with either mooching rigs with herring or anchovy or with super baits. So we've got our hook on the very end. So when we're done with the day, all we have to do is take off our weight, take off our flasher like this, maybe. Okay, there we go. So that comes off. Then we take it off on this end, put our flasher in the box, reattach this one, and then we just put the hook or a snap down in the hook holder on the pole and tighten it up and clip the weight line onto the main line, and we're done. Everything is compact. The nice thing about this setup is that if anything gets tangled up, you can just start unclipping things, and usually most of it will just come apart once you've unclipped everything. If it's really bad and the nut line's all messed up, then you really want to replace all that line and throw it away, because you don't want your beautiful big fish to break your line because you used recycled line. It's better that you just start that over again. Anyway, pretty much covered the basics of my setup, and you can see it in the diagram. And if you have any questions or any comments or would like to see anything specific, let me know. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed.